feel like I'm planning CGI, looking into art and history, and Eureka Math. I feel like I'm starting to get that pretty down. I'm really excited about what I want to show you with Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
I purchased the Eureka kind of plan, like the Eureka history, which kind of goes along with basically everything that we've been doing. It was only $20, and I looked into it, and I think that it could be something really cool that we can use across the grade. So like finally finding something that has a scope and sequence that is reputable, that aligns with what we're doing, to make that planning for something that I don't teach.
Yeah.
Something that's really exciting.
So let's make sure we save time at the end of this to open that up and look at that. What else is going well in your classrooms? I know I came in and observed yesterday, so
Sure.
the portions that I observed, what do you think went well in those classrooms?
I'm going to start with what I think is going well in general, just in terms of my memory being a little bit fuzzy with being sick too, about exactly when you were in there. What I think is going well in terms of like the mastery and the excitement around repeated addition is great.
Why do you think they have this excitement around
I think
addition?
that it's something that is practical. I think multiplication is really exciting for second graders because second graders are little kids, but they really have developmentally have a desire to be older.
Yeah.
And are really like looking up to bigger kids in our grade at the end of second grade. And they're about to go through like a major growth spurt. And so developmentally, this is a big time of change for them. And so multiplication really helps them feel like, oh, we're getting to be, big kids. We're using something new. Eureka doesn't. It says to only use repeated addition. And last year when I was teaching it, I didn't show them the multiplication, like what the symbol is.
Yeah.
This year I am. And I'm not like explicitly saying it, but they're like, so 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 3 times 3, or 3 plus 3 plus 4. If we have 4 threes, it's 3 times 4, just to build that foundation.
Yeah. So, how are you rolling that out to them? Like, is it on a separate side for the answer they give?
No. So it's kind of going along with the equilibrium, like the equal sign. So like 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12, which equals 3 times 4.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we're starting with I'm going to miss my group. We'll start with the manipulatives first. So one thing that went really well, we used our desks as whiteboards, which also kind of saves the time of passing out the whiteboards.
Hey,
and it's like the drama of this whiteboard is messy. It's like whatever. And so there was only one student in the next room that didn't want to use it, Bailey, and she was given a whiteboard. But so they put the bears into groups. So they had like the conceptual understanding first, and then we just like slowly moved to the abstract because the multiplication is the most abstract.
Yeah.
And so Eureka is routed in this to get them there.
Gotcha.
But some of our kids are really ready to be there. And so instead of like last year, it wasn't in the curriculum, so I didn't provide it for them. But I think really letting go and not holding them back and providing that as an extension for the kids that are ready.
Yeah. So I think this is a good success to have. Like, you're doing this, but it's not a part of the curriculum, so it's almost you enriching the students who are ready to get this. That you're giving it to them. So I agree that is.
And I think it will also
success.
Okay. And I think like ultimately like it. Oh, and you know what? I have, and this I actually wrote that wrong. It would be 4 groups of 3.
Yeah.
And so that language, like providing that language, groups of, rows of, is going to be like a big emphasis and push before spring break.
Yeah. So what else do you think helped them to be so ready for this already? Because when I walked in and I saw them doing repeated addition, they were super excited and prepared for it. It was almost as if it was second nature teaching it to them. So what do you think has helped them be so prepared for this?
We've done this in CGI.
Good.
And so CGI has provided a lot of, and so in CGI, which is actually interesting, this isn't the hardest problem.
No,
it's not. It's a level 2.
Yeah.
And so, this is something that's coming towards the end of the year, and this is something that actually, like, in terms of, like, pattern building, is easier than what we just left, which I think is also, like, a breath of fresh air for everybody, because we're so done with, like, the vertical method and repeat and multiplication. Just a long 2 modules.
Yeah. So with you doing this, in terms of map and map data, we started taking the winter assessment for map, and you got a little afraid because they haven't seen all of this before. How do you think this is going to play into your
well, data? That's not the biggest reason why kids are ready for this. But I mean, when I was observing during the test and seeing kids saying, "Miss Ryan, what is that?" I think it means multiplication. I don't know what multiplication means. And providing this language and sentence frame, this means 4 groups of 3.
Yeah.
So, like, in repeated addition, how could you write that? I know that for me as a kid, I was actually really bad at my multiplication math until I moved in with my grandparents.
Yeah.
And how I got by is because I knew how to do repeated addition. And I think that that's really something important, not only for them to understand, but talking to Mr. Dixon and looking at long-term planning of it, it's like that's what they're going to need when they're going into calculus.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand this, it's like you're not going to have the foundation that you need.
So I'm real excited about this, and I'm really excited to keep seeing it in your classroom. Anything else that went well in your classroom?
No, well, you should be excited about too, because what we're doing today is so 4 groups of 3 equals 3 groups of 4. So this equals 4 plus 4 plus 4. And then so we'll be providing the proofs like 3. So this is.
So Eureka is providing this part, but you're adding this part.
Eureka's not providing this part.
Gotcha.
That they all equal the same.
Gotcha.
But what Eureka does during assessments, which constantly confuses kids, is they provide equivalent equations. Equations are equivalent when the total is the same.
Gotcha.
Is the total the same here? The total is the same here. This is the total, so it's like that. That's what it equals.
Yeah.
And so providing that kind of algebraic thinking is something that we look at equivalent equations, but in terms of like writing number sentences fluently, they all equal the same. And so I've been doing that to try to increase like what the equal sign means.
Yeah, that's good, because that them knowing and understanding this equal sign and being able to tie this back to this is very important, and then to be able to tie this back to this or this is extremely important. Okay, kudos to you. 2 snaps for the repeated addition. Let's talk about any challenges that you are having.
Okay. So I noticed Miss Henry. I'm just gonna save this over here.
Yeah.
I noticed Miss Henry put up like the behavior kind of scope or consequence ladder. And so I think just in terms of when students are getting to the bottom of the consequence ladder and it's early in the morning, like what are we providing? What am I providing? What am I doing? So that, we aren't, that's going to cause problems for our learning for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So I want to repeat this question back to you to make sure I'm hearing it right. You want to know when students get to the end of the ladder, what are we doing and what supports do we have? Okay, so at the end of the ladder is the in-class suspension, where they become excluded from the class, but they are still in the classroom to learn. So I think that if they get there at the end of the day, that's where they stay at the end of the day. And so it had the / behavioral referral. If the behavior continues, then it's reaching out to me or another AP so that we can do a behavioral referral and get in contact with them. I think what bringing me in on the end of it
Mm-hmm.
holds more validity and accountability to you as the teacher
Okay.
and being the authority in the classroom,
Mm-hmm.
and then bringing me in at the end also makes it more valid when they come to me that
Yeah.
it's a serious
So okay. So
it's a serious issue.
yeah, and so I guess what I'm seeing is
Mhm.
like the tie between the consequence ladder that we've moved to
Mm-hmm.
and the tie between paychecks.
Gotcha.
And so, like, I noticed Tramel yesterday was like really confused. Like, Ms. Ryan, how do I have a 3? Like, I don't see it anymore, and like, I'm having a hard time, like, because our 7 and 8 year olds
Can't conceptualize.
are having a hard time, like, understanding, like, okay, I know what I did wasn't right,
Yeah.
but then, like, I don't understand why my paycheck should change.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's a different conversation,
Yeah.
Separately than the consequence chain. But I think that might be something to think about.
Yeah. I think with us possibly moving to this new schedule, it ties back into that relationship
Mhm.
piece and being able to sit down and explain
Yeah.
why I did this wrong. And in that classroom right now, they see 4 teachers a day,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can understand his thinking of like,
Yeah.
why is my paycheck a 3?
Yeah.
Why is my paycheck a 0?
Yeah.
Or why am I on parent contact?
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to that relationship
Okay.
piece.
And I think my question is, until we move to that new schedule,
Mm-hmm.
should we just kind of like, if I'm seeing the Tigers in the morning, it's like the paycheck piece is just kind of removed.
Yeah. If you're seeing them in the morning, you think it's going to be removed? Is that
No, my question is, should we just like remove it for the interim until we change the schedule? I mean, not remove it completely, but just using the consequence ladder, because what right now I'm seeing is them being kind of separate.
So what I didn't expect to do anything out of our meeting yesterday. I didn't expect for us to start the removal of the clip charts until Thursday.
Okay.
So I would keep them
Okay.
right now
Okay.
in place along with the consequence ladder
Okay.
that we came up with, and then Thursday morning I would change over to taking that down.
Okay.
And then so in the mornings it's going to take the Thursday morning we'll probably might have to have a team meeting
Okay.
so that we can discuss it. Not team meeting, morning huddle up, so that we can discuss it as a grade. I come in and discuss it as a grade, what the expectations are and what will happen. This is our new consequence ladder. This is our new clip, our way to keep up with your paychecks. And so going from there. Specifically around instruction, did you have any challenges around instruction?
I think it's just like manipulatives are so exciting. Using the bear manipulatives are awesome, but in terms of like making sure that we're using manipulatives as tools, not toys, I think that's just the biggest. I mean, it's not even really in terms of instruction; it's in terms of like using manipulatives.
Yeah.
Can use less exciting manipulatives and not use the bears, and maybe that's like a special reward that we work up to.
Yeah.
But in terms of like instruction and like conceptual understanding, I understand why Eureka uses the bears first. I mean, it's like using something more tangible to them and really routing them in more conceptual understanding. Mm-hmm. So I think that is right now that is my struggle.
Yeah.
When we're using bear manipulatives and making sure that we're taking care of the manipulatives, we don't lose the manipulatives, or because what I've noticed is that like some of the bear manipulatives have I'm missing about 5 bear manipulatives right now.
Okay.
And it's, I guess it's not even like playing with them. It's like wanting them so desperately.
Yeah.
And I've reached out and talked to teachers. And like keeping eyes on deck of them, and making sure they're turning them in.
So do you think if you take the bear manipulatives away, I'm sorry,